Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all well. I am so excited because today is finally the day where I sit down and turn myself into a monster. It is officially the return of spooky season and I am so excited. It's the most wonderful time of the year, for me anyway. So today I'm going to be starting spooky season off with a look inspired by the other mother from Coraline. Now, a year or so ago when I was back at college, I was doing an assessment based on sinister characters and I asked people to send me in, I asked my friends to send me in like characters from movies or TV shows that they thought were scary looking, like what would run towards you and you'd think I'm running the other way. And the other mother from Coraline was one that kept kind of popping up. Now honestly, I remember watching Coraline when I was younger and being terrified of it and also just kind of weirded out by it. It was just a very strange movie. But I remember the other mother and she was terrifying, so I thought she would be perfect for spooky season. So yeah, today I am going to do a look inspired by the other mother from Coraline to kick spooky season 2021 off. I'm very excited to be back filming monster tutorials. They're my favourite ones to do. As always with my Halloween looks, this is going to be like a voiceover video just because it is so much more easy for me to film and edit. Yeah. And also, half the time, I don't know where I'm going with stuff, so then it gives me a bit of leeway in case I mess something up, which will most likely happen. If you're new to my channel here and this is your first time seeing me doing a spooky season makeup, then welcome. And I have linked my spooky season playlist down below that has all of my tutorials that I've ever done for spooky season, plus some that weren't spooky season but you could get away with doing for Halloween. That's all linked below and in the eye above if you want to go and check that out for some more inspo. And as I do these videos, they'll all get added to that playlist. It's one big playlist full of lots of inspiration for the best time of year, Halloween. I'm very excited about it. As always, everything that I use today is going to be listed down below. This isn't too SFXy, this is a majority kind of face paints and shadows and stuff like that and buttons. But other than that, it is pretty straightforward and self-explanatory, I hope. If you have any questions at all that you want to ask me about Halloween makeup, then please do leave them in the comments. I'm more than happy to answer them and to help people out. I'm such a good person. Also, if you have any requests for this spooky season, please leave them down below. I have a few ideas that I'm going to roll with for now, but of course if anyone wants to see a particular look from me, then I'm more than happy to do it. Just leave them all in the comments down below or over on my social media pages, which are all linked down below as well. So without any further ado, let's kick off spooky season 2021 and get started. Okay, so to start this makeup look, I'm gonna cover my eyebrows because it wouldn't be a spooky season makeup look without it. So if you've never covered your eyebrows before or you want a more in-depth look, you can check out my Medusa makeup tutorial. I'll link it in the eye above. Basically, you just coat your eyebrow hairs in a non-toxic glue, flatten them down to your skin, and then wipe away the excess, powder on top, and just repeat those steps a couple of times. And it just gives you a flat surface to work off of and you can apply makeup over the top of it without having the hairs kind of interrupt you. And then I'm going in with a white grease paint. This is from a GiveFaceCosmetics palette and I'm just using that on a very dense face brush and just applying it all over my face and down my neck just to blank out my skin tone. And then once I'm happy with the coverage of it, I didn't make it too perfect because I didn't want it to be too perfect. But once I kind of got it to where I liked it, I made sure to powder it down with lots of translucent powder. I'm then going in with a black grease paint from that same palette and just messily applying this on my eyelids and on my lower lash line. This is just to give the black eyeshadow that I'm now applying something to stick to, just to make sure that it's pigmented. And I'm keeping this shape very rounded. Most of it is going to be covered anyway because we're going to cover our eyes with buttons, but you just kind of want it there as a background just in case. You don't want like your natural skin to be showing through. You want it to make it look like a hollow, like a socket kind of hollowed out. And then I'm just blending the edges out using a fluffy brush, just very lightly, and again keeping everything very rounded in appearance. I'm then going in with a black eyeliner. This is probably totally optional, but I chose to do it just in case. And I'm just tightlining my upper and lower waterline just to completely black out my eye and make it as dark as possible. I'm now going on to the eyebrows. I'm taking that same black eyeshadow on a kind of nail art brush. And I had done the left eyebrow first because that's my non-dominant side, so it makes it easier to match up on the right hand side for me. And you're kind of doing, it's almost like a 1920s brow where it's quite downturned and expressive. I just used a reference photo for this and drew them in, filled them in. Pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. If you make any mistakes, you can always clean it up with that white cream paint from before. I'm then going in with the same black eyeshadow and drawing in a very sharp line on top of my cheekbones. The other mother has very high cheekbones, and so to kind of emulate this, you have to alter your face shape to it. So I drew the kind of start of the contour further up my face, and then used just that same brush just to feather the black eyeshadow down. You want it to be quite pigmented and quite stark in the contrast, so I actually wasn't too worried about it blending too perfectly. And then I used that same black eyeshadow to carve out the chin shape as well. Just her face is very pointed, so you want to try and contour your face to be like that. I then took a light grey eyeshadow and used this down the sides of my nose. The other mother has a very pointy nose, but I didn't want to do any prosthetics for this. So I just used a light grey eyeshadow instead of the black. And then to highlight the nose, I used some of that white cream from before and made sure to set it in place. And then I just blended the edges out with that grey eyeshadow again. You want to use grey eyeshadow because it's lighter than black and a bit more forgiving. I also took that below my lower lip and on top of my lip as well. Just because you're using only two colours on your face, you want to try and bring some dimension back to it. I'm then going in with a black face paint. I'm just using a Kryolan watercolour, and you're going in and drawing these cracks on the face. So the more haphazard with this, the better, because you want it to look really organic. So I just kind of used varying degrees of pressure and just drew a lot of different shapes. I started off with really thin lines and kind of faint lines, and then I went back in once I'd done them all over and thickened some areas up, so it kind of looked like there was chunks of the face missing, like they were bigger cracks. There's no rhyme or reason to this really, just do what feels natural, I suppose. And then I'm going in with a black liquid lipstick, filling my lips in. I'm keeping the shape really quite sharp at the top and making sure it's really precise. And then I'm extending my outer corners of my lips outwards into a kind of exaggerated smile, and then joining the top and bottom of my lips so that it looks seamless when you kind of look straight forward. Then I went ahead and drew like a basic outline of a skeleton pattern on my neck and my collarbones, and I'm just filling in all the negative space with that same black face paint, and this is actually a paintbrush that I bought from B&Q. The more you know. And then I'm going back in with that grey eyeshadow and just creating some wee divots and more dimension to the kind of skeleton structure that I've drawn on. And then I went back in and did the same kind of crack pattern on them. Then I'm going in with some eyelash glue, applying some to my top and bottom eyelid, and applying the buttons to my eyes. These take a wee bit of like jiggery pokery just to make sure you get them in the right spot. You want to make sure they're far enough over so that they hide your inner corner, but they're not too uncomfortable. And there you have it, guys. That is the finished look. As always, everything that I have used is going to be listed down below, including where I got the buttons from, because they're a really good size. And I hope you all enjoyed this first spooky season video back. I'm so excited to be back for another year. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you next time for another spooky season makeup. Bye! Spooky season. Ooh. Right, hair's up. Hair is up. She means business. Let's kick it off the right way and cover my eyebrows. Because what else would I be doing on a Sunday night? It looks so weird already. That's a good sign. Panda moon. Yay, panda moon. Don't be jealous of my boogie. Kind of look like Lord Farquaad. Oh dear. Oh, she's getting naughty. Naughty. This wig really needs some TLC, but it'll do for now. Don't you disrespect me, little man. Don't you derogate or deride. That's the wrong villain, Skye. You're in my world now, not your world. Where'd I put that fabric? And I got friends on the other side. Dun, dun, dun. Spooky season is back.